This webtoon was a guilty pleasure of mine, as I adored the art style, plot, and characters in the story. But along the road, the story took a twist in a bad way, and there is a really bad plot twist that is really bad. Before I dive in, there will be spoilers for this webtoon, so I recommend you read it up to chapter 48. The plot. The basic rundown of the plot is that a young woman named Senna got isekai'd into another person's body named Sienna. When Senna was a child, she was abused and neglected by her father, and the one to help and guide her through life was her teacher. When Senna became older, she had a passion for cooking and started a small restaurant with her teacher. Her teacher died unfortunately and shortly after entered the body of a young noble daughter named Sienna that was neglected by her family and abused by a woman named Florida. The plot of it got me hooked as Senna has to go through challenges to prove her worth and to the family and stood up to her abuser. She also made plenty of tasty dishes along her journey. The strong point of the first season was her growing relationship with her family, as she has to grow to accept them, and the family in turn realized how neglectful they were to Sienna. There were definitely some odd additions to the story, like how she was a saintess. Okay, seems unnecessary, but not the biggest problem. After season 1 ended, it went on hiatus for a long time, and I was pretty enthusiastic for season 2. Season 2. So season 2 definitely diverted expectations. For one, the art style changed. Apparently I'm the minority of this, since so many comments on the manga says that they prefer this art style, but I prefer the original art style as it was a breath of fresh air compared to other webtoons. I read webtoons that had similar character designs, same face, same eyes, same hair. I get that drawing characters is hard. I'm an artist too and still learning about how a person's pose would look in a drawing. But when you give the same character design for each story you read over and over, it gets boring. So seeing Royale Shop of Young Lady art style with more of a bold color palette was nice to see. When season 2 came out, the art style had a huge shift. I don't know what happened to the original artist, but I personally don't like the new art style. It looks generic now, even the love interest doesn't look like the same person. This comment on Reddit describes better about the new art style. I am getting a culture shock with the season 2 art. It's so different from the first season. Not gonna lie, the art in the first season grew on me, so I ended up really liking it. Hopefully the new art style will grow on me too, Edit. I take back my hope on liking the new art. What did they do with Lancelot? Edit part 2. Oh man, okay. I changed this to a rant because I feel disappointed in the new art. The new art style just completely lost the dynamicism in the character's expression. It all seems so forced. Like, I understand some people were iffy with the first art style, but there was a flow to the art which was easy on the eyes. The new art is stiff to the point that's a bit jarring. I feel cut off from the storyline, and it's running how I would like to read. The movements of the characters are stiff, their expressions are stiff, and I don't know how, but even the mood in the story is stiff. I also felt that the characters just lost their personalities in the new art style. Lancelot doesn't look as conniving, Gawain doesn't look as gruff, even Grandpa doesn't look as confident. Like, yeah, they're all good looking, including Dominic, but they all fall flat. There's nothing charming about how they present themselves, which was seen in the previous style. I'm crying, their hair lost volume. Well, I do understand that yes, maybe it'll take time to find comfort in the art. I feel so averse to it, and this is a feeling that I didn't feel at all with the first season. I just feel disappointed in this. The next criticism about season 2 is the story. I was actually okay with the first part of the second season of Sienna was going to school and learning about the food and excelling in classes. Of course, they show the typical bullies that pester her, but I thought overall it was good. We got a professor that is strict with his students, and I like the new addition to this character. I read some comments on Reddit about how they don't like the sudden love interest the male lead has with a female lead, as it was too sudden and forced. The previous season, they were getting to know each other, each other's interests. It was nice seeing them discuss poison of all things. Season 2 took that small build-up and threw it out the window. Overall, I thought the first arc of the season 2 was alright, but it went downhill from there. The next arc that I think happened is that Sienna visits her dad, which is the first time we see him. But the problem that this arc and onward took is that the main character no longer cooks. I don't remember anything of her cooking onwards, which missed the entire point of her character and plot. It's literally one of the genres of this webtoon is in cooking, but now we gotta get rid of it. The cooking isn't what infuriates me, it's the plot twist. Update, while editing this, I tried looking for the genres for this webtoon, but I didn't find anything. The only thing I found was romance, not cooking. But the description implied heavily that it is a cooking novel, so yeah, my bad. This is what ruined this entire webtoon for me. I don't care if it's spoilers, it's what ruined this whole webtoon for me. It's a stupid plot twist. So apparently the teacher who was sent as the caretaker in the original world turned out to be Sienna's the grandmother. And that Senna was actually Sienna the whole time. I was sitting there like, what? The plot twist came out of nowhere and it's actually disgusting on what happened to the original Senna. They made this child who was abused by her father to be the villain that attacks the main character's body. And they blamed the abused girl, Senna, pushing the narrative that she is evil for trying to neck herself and attacking everyone around her. Imagine this. You were a child that your father used as a punching bag. Then you were transported into a body that isn't your own in a new world. The world you transported in wasn't any better as a woman abuses you and makes you feel worthless. Even the new family that you have abandons you because you lash out thinking that you're undeserving of love and that everyone seems out to get you. So you took your own life as you were suffering and you were to be called a villain for lashing out for the cruelty that is put upon you. And they never mentioned Florida either and how she bullied and physically abused Senna. They just conveniently left that out and focused that, oh, she tried to ruin Sienna's life. That disgusts me a lot. Senna wasn't a good person, but how can she with the circumstances given to her? And she was a child, growing up in a terrible environment. No child should go through what she went through, and to be made a villain for that. It was where I wanted to drop the book. I can't even describe the anger and pain I felt when reading it, but I loved the first season so much. And my curious nature got the best of me as I wanted to know the plot. So I read on. Now scrolling through this webtoon, I had no recollection on what came after the plot twist. My mind seriously blacked out at this. Apparently there was another villain named Lily, and I don't remember. I'm not rereading it as I'm exhausted how bad it has become. And the book went on another hiatus break for a very long time. A few chapters ago, the art style changes to the original style. The romantic lead still looks different. And now there's a love triangle, and I don't know, man. The series is exhausting. I just recommend reading the first 48 chapters before the art style changes. And it was sad to see where the series went. And it's such a great beginning only to take a downward spiral with bad plot directions. Anyway, that's that. Thank you for those who watched my first terrible video on reviewing this webtoon. I hope you enjoy it, and maybe hopefully in the future I can make more reviews on my other webtoons and mangas and hopefully stop stuttering. With that being said, thanks for watching and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.